What's going on, everybody? JR from JR's Cars, and today we're going to try to get the 69 Monterey to start up. So stay tuned and we'll see if it'll actually happen. Alrighty, so like I said, we're going to be trying to see if we can get this thing to fire up. So one of the first things I did here was I wanted to verify the cabling that was going up to the battery here, because I noticed that when I put a battery on here, these ends seem to be really loose, and it looked like what happened was somebody had in the past replaced these ends, and they didn't tighten these down, so it really wasn't making a good connection. And even if you look in here, you could see the copper core cabling was about halfway through it, so it was only maybe about that much of the cable that was inside this terminal. So I took care of this. This is the positive side. Cleaned it up a little bit, tightened this back up, and then here is the negative side. This one was, I mean, completely loose, like finger loose. Wasn't even making any good contact. So now that I got those nice and tight and good to go, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the fuel system, because what I want to do is I want to make sure that this isn't trying to pull any fuel from that tank, because I was told that the tank is bad. So what I did was I want to replace the fuel filter first, just to make sure that if there was anything, like somebody had tried to start it before, if somebody had pulled some crap through the line, I want to make sure that it's not getting clogged up in the fuel filter here. So I already purchased one. We're going to get that replaced now. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these clips off, the little clamps. Let's see if we can wiggle this free. All right, so that should come off easily. There we go. Nice. Now, fuel filter should come off. I was told that the previous owner did have it running, but he said it was leaking. So I'm wondering, I mean, this is only just some penetrating oil right now, but I'm wondering if maybe the leak was coming from the completely loose fuel filter. This thing wasn't even finger tight here. Oh man, that's great. I bet you was leaking right from here. Oh, there it is. Here's the old one. And I don't know, it looks pretty dry in there. I don't know if that fuel pump is pumping anything out, but we'll see. All right, here's a new one. Okay, that should be tight enough there. Now what we want to do is get the rest of this hose off here. Okay, Go. And the new section of hose. There we go. Alrighty, so the next thing I want to do is this line here is the one that comes from the tank. If you follow that down to the fuel pump, I'll get some light on this in here, you can kind of see way down in there in the center of the fuel pump. That's that line coming in, and then you see the hard line that goes up, which is this line right here. So I want to disconnect that line coming from the tank, and then connect that to a good clean tank that I have with good clean gas. So I'm gonna get that disconnected. It's a little difficult to get my hands in there. I might have to do this from underneath the car. So I'm gonna get that off, and then we'll set this up. So there it is. There's the line, right? That's the new line that I have hooked up to it, going into the inlet of the fuel pump. Hopefully this fuel pump is good and it'll actually pump something through it, and I could see if it'll, continue running without having to dump gas down the carb. But we'll give it a shot. But the way I have it is line comes through there and it comes up. Good old roadkill zip ties. And then I have the end of the line over here. That's just going to go into a gas tank, right? But of course, first, I got to drop a battery in it. All right, so there she is. I got the battery in. I got the fuel line going into the tank, which has some fuel in it. Next thing what I want to do is I want to go inside and see if it'll actually crank over. So let's see if the motor will actually turn, or if the motor's locked. Well, I honestly don't know. Okie dokie. Moment of truth. Let's grab the key and let's see if she turns and cranks. Make sure she's in park. Here goes nothing. Nothing. I wonder if the terminals maybe are a little loose. And she's not getting power. Of course, the second you shut the video off, that's when it happens. I just cranked it one more time just to see if I heard it, and there she goes. All right, so let's go outside. Let's dump some gas in the carb, and I'm going to set you guys up, and we'll see if we can get this thing to pop over. tried. I think we're going to give her a little rest. Getting close. She's popping. She's almost starting. So we'll see. We're going to keep on this. So she's getting close to pop off. As you can see, this is the kind of crap that's popping out of the exhaust pipes here. Like all this. You can see this here, like probably mice living in the exhaust. And it's there. So we'll see. She's getting close. She's definitely getting close. All right, everyone. Well, this is where I'm going to leave the video for today because there's a couple things going on. Number one, as you can tell by the hood on my head, the temperature has been dropping since I've been out here working on the car, and it's progressively been getting colder. So I don't think this is really going to be good for trying to start it. You know, it's been laying dormant for as long as it has, and you know, things like that. The cold weather's not going to help with trying to get this thing started. So that's one thing. Second thing is, after cranking so many times and the temperature also dropping too, battery's getting really weak at this point, so I'm gonna have to charge that back up. But number three, one of the things that I'm kind of finding interesting is when you could hear the car was trying to start, and it was actually getting to the point to where it was almost running on its own, and I was getting kind of giddy inside the car. But then as soon as I let up off the crank, right? So when you're turning the key to the start position, as soon as it kicked back to the run position, the car would die. So it almost seemed like it had power on the start cycle, but as soon as it went to the run cycle, all power just stopped. And then there were a couple points there where I was trying to crank, trying to do something with it, and it just wasn't doing anything at all. It wasn't trying to crank. It wasn't like I couldn't hear the starter trying to kick over. So there's some weird stuff going on there. So I mean, if anyone has any ideas, any comments that they could drop, seen something like that happen before, I'm all ears. I'm gonna have to research it a little bit to see, you know, if there's something else that I should be looking at, you know, with that at least, because if it's not getting power when it goes back to the on position, the car's just going to die. And like I said, I had it running. It was to the point where it was almost running on its own. But then as soon as I let up off that key and it went to the on position, the car cut off like it had no power. And then the engine would stop. So, you know, do me a favor, man. If you have any comments, if you have any ideas on what that could be, drop those comments down below. Let me know. You know, I'm all ears. So do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your comments down below. I'll catch you all in the next video.